Good morning. This is Bruce. I want to talk again about the truth and the consequences of not telling the truth. And I wanted to use a report that I just saw on Gateway Pundit website. Um, and they report about a Canadian professor released a study claiming conservatives are racist and dumb. And this professor says that low intelligence adults tend to gravitate towards socially conservative ideologies. And the ideologies in turn stress hierarchy and resistance to change, attitudes that can contribute to prejudice. And I just wanted to use this as a way of, once again, talking about what is not true. And these kind of studies come out all the time in different ways, but I've seen them many times over the years. And we see it with the way the press treated Bush and Reagan in particular. They always considered them to be dumb people. They called them that. They implied it all the time. They crouched their stories to make it look like they were stupid. When they made a mistake, they would emphasize this ad nauseum, especially on Saturday Night Live or anything of this nature. And we see this also how Republican voters and other voters want to see a brilliant guy who can just cut through Obama in a debate, because they don't want the press to be able to say that we're dumb. And I believe that a lot of conservatives are not only tired of this stuff, but want to react to it rather than understanding how dumb these kind of reports are. The idea that conservatism stresses hierarchy and resistance to change in some ways is true. But the change that most liberals want to embrace is not change that is good. It is change that emphasizes and causes government to grow, and therefore a loss of freedom. And this professor and most other liberals are embracing that. They see the liberalness of this as a positive, and therefore he's created some report, no doubt fabricated his numbers in some way, or changed them around, or asked the questions in such a way that would make his report look right. And sometime down the future, someone's gonna find out, how he's messed with the numbers or messed with his questions or whatever. But the reality is, it really means nothing. Anybody that studies intelligence knows that intelligence has nothing to do with being a conservative or being a liberal or a libertarian or whatever you want to call it. You can have dumb, you can have smart, and any version of those things. What matters is your actions and where they lead. A conservative does want to preserve what is the best for the country, the best for the people. And our founders and early leaders understood that. They believed that man's personal freedom was the most important thing that any government should preserve. That's why they wrote laws to prevent government from taking away that freedom. And that's why liberals and progressives are constantly trying to destroy the Constitution, go around it. We see this constantly with Obama. He is doing everything he can and to go around the Constitution, to ignore the law, and that's what a liberal truly does. You may define that as intelligence, which is what the mainstream media tries to do all the time, that Obama's so smart to go around the Congress, or to find ways around these dummies who try to block him. But what that really is somebody who uses his authority to break the law, to push his agenda on someone who doesn't want it, to take away their freedom of choice. Exactly what he did with Obamacare and all the other regulations they're doing on the environmental area. They are pushing what they think is correct. That is change, yes, but it is not change for the good. It is not change for the positive. It doesn't help people, it hurts people. And while this one stupid study means nothing, and we will see more all the time, it happens daily, that we see something like this in some area of food, or someone, like Michelle Obama's trying to control what kids eat at school, and they resist it and they don't even do it. But we're wasting enormous amounts of money trying to follow these people, trying to follow the regulations that they create. And you talk about how intelligent a liberal is, and you see something like what Obama has created with the green energy program, and every day we find a new example of how stupid those programs are. So what is intelligence? And then there's also the issue of racism. I don't know about you. I've grown up in the South. Obviously you can tell that from my accent. But I can remember many stories and many riots that were occurring in Boston and in places up north. There is prejudice and racism all over the country, but it doesn't have anything to do with being a liberal or a conservative. I believe this country has made a huge advance in that area, and I resent, but unfortunately now I expect that this is the way that liberals try to attack us, by labeling us as a racist. It is nothing more than another method of trying to put a label on someone to try to harm whatever they say. Someone could call me a racist to try to get people to ignore what I have to say, and that is all that it is. Until an individual proves they are racist in what they say or do, it really means nothing. But it is the unfortunate way that liberals try to stifle conversation and stifle opinion, and that's why it has to be resisted and fought against. But I believe that there are massive examples of racism in the liberal community and organizations, and in particular the welfare system. History has already proven that there is no doubt that welfare has destroyed the black family, and to me that is racism. That they may have set out with good intentions to do something good, but they didn't do it, and they knew they didn't do it. They knew they didn't do something right, but they continued to do it because that's their intention, to do something good, even though it doesn't work. That's a lack of intelligence, but also it is a form of racism, because you know it's not working, and yet you still continue at it. But anyway, I just wanted to bounce off that report, and hope you have a good day. Thank you.